All right, guys, it's your boy Q, and we are back. Up next, we have Joe Budden firing back at Taxstone for lying about his relationship with QueenzFlip and Combat Jack. Combat Jack being honestly the father, really, of like hip hop podcasting. The dude is a legend. If you don't know who he is, definitely look him up. Rest in peace to him. And QueenzFlip being one of the hosts of the Joe Budden podcast as well. But yeah, we're gonna jump right into the video. Shout out to Chick Smooth. Again, it's Joe Budden fires back at Taxstone for lying about his relationship with QueenzFlip and Combat Jack. Love me a good Joe rant. He gonna wild out.
This is where the fun officially begins. For those of you guys that have been itching for Joe Budden versus Taxstone beef again, this gotta feel like Christmas.
And he's doing this all from like a prison cell, which is crazy.
To you guys right now. Now, earlier in the week, I told you guys Taxstone has been talking about Joe Budden and the podcast crew on his Twitter spaces. Looks like Taxstone has teamed up with Rocky to try to bring back his podcast tax season. And yes, he's doing all this while he's locked up in prison. Listen, man, you gotta...
It's crazy, man. The prison feels like it's changed. Like people have tablets, people have people can text message like whenever. Like this is crazy.
Give it up to him for the dedication. Tax is a guy that loves to talk. He never stopped tweeting even while he was locked up. So now that he's aware of Twitter Spaces, he's gonna try to turn it into his podcast. And the best part is you can get on there and talk shit for hours.
And you can monetize it.
So for Tax that's currently locked up and doing his time, this is the perfect meet.
Low key, he could really take that and really get some motion with that. I'm not even gonna lie. Tax season, his podcast was super hot. Like it was definitely one of those podcasts that had the people definitely had their eyes on that podcast. He was very successful doing what he did. He just had the incident with Troy Ave and now he's in prison for it. But like he could definitely run it up over at Twitter.
Medium for him. Now, you can't have a good podcast going without having a good rollout. After calling out Joe for trash talking Combat Jack, rest in peace, and also claiming that Joe hired QueenzFlip because he owed Webb and Nitty a favor, Joe put out some tweets over the weekend, but today on the podcast, Joe asked,
when I get on my shit, I don't want to hear nothing about bullying either. Y'all been asking for it. Ain't no neutral. Yeah, the Ain't No Neutral is also the name of the podcast he dropped. I'm feeling like fuck all you niggas. Yeah, man. Joe Budden's rants are, dude, they're elite.
actually addresses Taxstone and those rumors. Now, I told you guys in that same video, the only way this works is if Joe actually takes the bait and responds to Tax on the podcast. Well, Joe actually did respond to Tax, and here's what he said back.
They do the space and shit. They got the hateful Vengers, the We Hate Joe Vengers going on.
What's that?
It's a crew. It's a new crew. It's a new crew of votes.
Yeah, man. Those that shall remain nameless, according to him, being Rory and Maul, obviously. Yeah, his ex-co-host, they obviously had a falling out. And yeah, and now they're all ganging up on Joe.
Ultron that's forming, trying to get me out of here. A bunch of weak, lifeless losers. I'll address that also since you brought up Tax. There's a rumor out there that Flip is only up here. It ain't even a rumor out there. It's just Tax in that little tiny ass cell board and fucking talking on that little trip shit. Fucking that Flip is only up here because of a favor that I owe to Webb and Nitty because they got me in a bad contract.
That is not.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Webb called me from jail about that. He didn't like that shit. That's not true.
Or they had me in a bad contract and I owed them a favor, so they called me and asked me to put Flip on the show. And when niggas just, if you just let stupidness just rock for a little bit.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't even have to be true. People are gonna click on there because Joe's name is attached, and even if it's not true, it's still gonna bring people over to Taxstone, you know, and whatever venture he's like gonna roll with now. It honestly would be perfect, him being in jail. This is definitely a platform he could jump on. He's obviously doing it. But his podcast did have some motion, so it could definitely take off. And X is now a spot where you can monetize, and if you do it right, you could probably do pretty well for yourself. It's gonna be crazy, like people sponsoring this dude from jail. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy.
But me and him ain't talking, so now I gotta let this stupid shit rock.
Right.
I gotta let it rock for a little bit. But I don't even see how that makes sense. If I was in a bad contract, how would I owe a favor? Like, I would just do the favor for them niggas if they wanted that.
I've never heard you disrespect Combat Jack while I was up
That's
here.
never happened. Yo, these niggas just be
So
lying.
I don't know. Like, I don't know where that's coming from. I've never heard.
That's all. It's all bullshit.
It was probably they just didn't offer something that Joe felt was adequate. You know, like the show was a big show. It had a lot of moving parts, different co-hosts and producers behind the scenes. You know, so yeah, I could see why maybe it was that, but I don't know. I don't know the details.
Combat Jack is a legend to me. He is an icon to me. He was inspirational to me and taught me a lot. That's insane.
I want to say Charlemagne. I want to say Brilliant Idiots was a Combat Jack. I know his producer, Chris Moreau. They were like some of the forefathers of that. They definitely helped build that stuff up.
In spite of me not signing there, I just didn't sign over there. That's the only. And he wanted me to sign over there because I was amazing and he had the foresight to see it as head honcho in the field.
Do it bother you at all that a bunch of people come together to try to put smut on your name? Does that bother you at all?
Nah, I can't feel like that. Most of the people on that list of kicking my back in are people that I have genuinely helped. From my
Man, there's a long list of people that anytime something crazy happens or he speaks out of line, they're going to come out. From past girlfriends to past associates, there's a plenty.
Perspective anyway, they might say different. Are people I've genuinely helped from like the bottom of my heart, and it's done well. It's been a great thing. Like a lot of these people don't know me well enough to speak to my character and speak to how I am personally or on a day-to-day basis. Niggas know each other casually. Like if we see each other in the spot. So it's been a bunch of niggas. I've seen Tax in real life 4 times.
Damn.
Like, what real conversation is there to have about?
Yeah, man, it's easy. You're the hottest podcaster. I'm gonna start a little drama. Now I'm being associated with the hottest podcaster. Hopefully, some of that like runs over to me. You know, which is gonna happen. Taxstone hasn't released any type of podcast or anything like that. I guess he's been inside, obviously, because he couldn't. But if he's able to do it this way, like it works out perfectly for him.
Who we are as a people. I'm grateful that the niggas that hate me are powerless bums. I've been in a position where the niggas that hated me were people in positions of power in these labels and these offices and every move.
It's an uphill battle right there. You're not going to win that one.
You tried to make, they blocked it. These people are just talking on audio apps, which they reserve the right to do. So I'm not ever angry at words. I'm not ever angry at words, and I can't be angry at the actions because the nigga that he sent over here, he didn't come back. He didn't come back for more. So I mean, what you gonna do?
Oh shit! Taxstone sending the goons over there. Crazy.
Now this is where we get to see
Joe is up, so you gotta be careful. To think he don't got some type of security himself is. You be tripping.
Taxstone turn up a little bit and turn Super Saiyan. I don't think he's gonna take too kindly to Joe calling him a weak, lifeless loser and also calling him a broke bum. He's already sent a message to Joe last year telling him, yo, I can still get you touched even though I'm locked up behind bars.
Not the smartest things to say. They're just gonna add more time, even though he's doing already a pretty major bid.
You guys remember that whole strip club incidents that happened with Joe last year? So now that he got the response he wanted from Joe, it's now basically a free-for-all for him. Especially having Rocky on his side who does the podcast with him as well. Rocky is somebody that was in Joe's circle years ago. I'm sure she knows a lot of dirt about Joe. She's been itching to expose him.
Yo, man. Clout was a hell of a drug. And these people, for them, it's just content. And this could really, really get some motion. If it goes like Taxstone's way.
It would not surprise me if their first 20 episodes is basically a documentary style exposing Joe. And a lot of you guys said in that video, Joe should just ignore Tax. Silence is the best answer to give him at this point. But unfortunately, this is Joe. Joe loves messy stuff. He's usually calculated when he responds to people.
He's one of those content is king type creators too, though.
People on the podcast, so
it could be his friend. It could be like how many countless arguments has he had Ish, and Ish is like a real friend of his. You know, the dude don't care. He's gonna put it up there unedited for the most part. For the most part, obviously, some things that they do bleep out.
I think he knows what's coming his way. You guys get in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on what Joe said to Taxstone. Post your comments below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video. I'll see you.
Hey, that's the thing. Tax is He's a thorough dude. Like he said, he has the connections to do what he said. But do you really want to get involved in that when you're already doing this long bid? They're just going to tack on more time. Maybe for him, it's like whatever. And dude, this is just money for him to like, for him to survive in jail, get his commissary, and for him to also provide for his family and whoever else he wants to provide for. But yeah, even if the stuff that he's saying isn't true, like it's bringing attention to him, and I think that's all that he's looking for. But he just has to be careful. Sending dudes over there, man. The next thing you know, Joe's people is going to defend themselves, and there's going to be some type of tragedy. And if they link that to you, like, dude, like I said earlier, there's going to be more time on you. But maybe he just don't care. Maybe he just don't care. I mean, he did. Yeah, he did shoot in like a live venue. So like, who knows? He's probably don't give like two shits about him doing more time when he's already doing like decades, you know? But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button. Do you guys think Tax is lying? But yeah, rest in peace to Combat Jack. He was like a legend in podcasting, especially hip hop podcasting. He kickstarted a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Hope you guys love the video, and I hope to see you guys soon.